Freedom 35, 5, 5, 5.
Dude, start the podcast.
Wow. Are we recording?
I don't know who's recording this week.
Nah, we're not doing that. Tommy's not here. We're not doing no recording. Jordan, none of that stuff. We're just going to roll right into it. All right. We're a Freedom 35ers, a Cardano NFT podcast. This is episode 69, technically episode 70 for all the OGs out there. My name is TJ. I go by Lazy T.
And I am the other Tom. I go by Lavish Bear.
And tonight, Tom. Wow. There we go.
Get to be the only one this week. Yeah.
Keeping it formal.
I thought about making it Tommy, but that just would have felt weird. I even thought about doing like the backwards hat, kind of like, it's like Tommy. Like when Jim dresses like Dwight.
Yes. What are you doing?
Exactly that. Identity
Michael
theft is not a joke.
I'm not gonna lie, when I first did the intro just now, I almost said my name is Tommy. I go by Tila Demo. Why? Because I'm just so used to hearing him go first that I legit almost said that.
You did the episode 72. You kept it alive for the OGs.
I wanted to ask that too, but I know Tommy will be listening for it, so I had to keep him happy while he's on his honeymoon. Maybe next week I'll change it up a bit.
I am curious if he's going to try and get a little sneak listen in on Friday. If he gets like a break for like a nap time or something.
I'm sure he will, especially with that 5-hour difference. I know he's been lurking on the computer or his phone, I should say, looking at Twitter and stuff and what's been going on, because I see him posting in our Discord now. So it's pretty cool. So Monday, I'll share my screen now. Tommy usually does all of this. Monday, we got the pleasure to chat with Her Monsters finally, which that was pretty cool. And it was great to meet them and chat with them.
Gotta say, it looks much better without Tommy on there. I mean, come on,
doesn't it? Just four boxes.
Clean. I mean, so we're gonna need to start reevaluating this.
We have to kick him off more.
Yeah,
often.
I was gonna say we'll have a corporate meeting, board meeting while Tommy's gone.
Yeah. No, it was great.
Was actually I don't know what you said. We talked to Sev in, was it August or September of last year?
Yeah, August or September for sure. It was a while ago.
The fall of last year, we were kind of planning and setting up to kind of talk to them, or been talking about them and excited to talk to them. So this is a long one in the making.
Yeah, he definitely, like, even from when we talked to them in August or September, they definitely withheld some stuff for us even then. So we were learning stuff even that night. I didn't know that when I recommended, or what was it, nominated someone a few months ago with WERS, that it was null and voided now. Did not know that until literally during the live stream. And
I know it was probably an announcement that was made somewhere, on their Discord side, their unofficial, kind of Discord side or whatever. But I was not something I was aware of either. So I'm glad that came up, because we were kind of expecting me to get my nomination from Tommy.
Yeah.
Also, I saw that though, a lot of the chat too. I mean, that is something that kind of comes, I think, along with having the unofficial Discord, that, if you do go to their Twitter, it's not exactly like, it's always like right there linked. So, or on their website, more so like that information. So it's probably somewhere in there, but a lot of people had kind of missed a lot of that. Even as far as the, if you get nominated, you're automatically whitelisted. Whatever like Walt's put in for that nomination's on the whitelist. It's not. I thought it was like a nomination process, and then something would have been picked out of that pool of nominated people.
I wonder if people are trying to be cheeky and like sell their apartment after already nominating themselves, so they still get the nomination with that apartment. I wonder if they're trying to maybe combat that, because I'd be kind of curious, because I know people are saying that the floor has dropped on them a little bit, and I guarantee you that's why people just nominated themselves. Like, all right, I'm gonna get a little profit from the apartments. I was like, that's a little.
That's why, though, you can look. They have it listed on the store if it's been nominated or not already. But for sure, there's going to be people that probably make that mistake too. Tommy did that on a project. We can share some stories while he's gone now that he wouldn't want to share, right? What was that project he accidentally did that on, I think? He bought wings or something for Happy Hoppers that shouldn't have been sold after they had been used for the upgrade. So he snagged some. I forget what it actually was, because I'm not in.
Oh, it was the gold wings thing.
The gold wings, yeah, and it had already been used.
Not gold wings. It was something like that with the gold fish or whatever, and then how you just get the wings on it. Yeah. I do remember that. That was a while ago. He's probably like, damn, shut up, guys. But yeah, that was. I
think you might have shared that already. But one, I will say, I think this is maybe their second or third time coming on actual, not live but on camera with their interviews or their spaces that they do, because they do a lot of spaces on Twitter. So that was kind of cool. I know it wasn't, we have a lot of firsts on our show that would have been pretty neat to snag, but I will say Vern and Sev that they obviously do a lot of the spaces, so they're very used to, kind of going through the talking points and talk track. I hope we kind of threw them off with some questions. I know it's
Yeah.
just the two of us, so even our flow is a little bit off. I think they said their flow is off being on cam, so it's like, oh,
Yeah.
this is kind of both. So where's ours? This is perfect.
Exactly.
Um,
It was funny hearing them say that though, because they're more comfortable in spaces and I'm more comfortable doing that. So it's just it's cool to see the differences between us as far as what we feel more comfortable doing. It's me, it's just being like a lazy factor of the spaces thing. Cause like I'm like staring at my phone, like stressing out that I'm gonna be talking with my mic on or talking, my mic is off type of thing. And I said this whole spiel and I'm like, shit, I was muted that whole time. Or I'm like saying something or talking to my wife or just can't walk around because I'm afraid you'll hear the background noise or whatever's going on. So it was funny to hear that they'd rather do spaces and I'd rather be on YouTube or live streams.
I've done that where you tell like a little stupid joke, like the slick comment, but then like no one responds, and you're like, damn, that really wasn't funny. And then you're like, ah, fuck, I'm muted.
Yeah,
Um,
that didn't
but
land.
Byrne had actually the opposite reasoning that I have. Like she said that she prefers the space because she can use people going on mute or unmute as a cue. Like, oh, this person unmuted, they're trying to talk next, so I'll let them go. Whereas I've always like that's a challenge I have more in the spaces where it's always kind of hard to find that spot to fit in sometimes, especially when we all have such like different talking cadences. Because like I talk, especially like a lot of times when we're doing these, I just kind of ramble with the words that come into my head until like it's like, all right, I'm done. So some people aren't always prepared or like anticipating the end of my sentence or like for my question to approach after talking. And in the space, I have more trouble with that. But when we're talking like this, I can like read your body language and kind of tell like, where
Yes.
you're kind of like, oh, he just stopped and I can like come in now, or he's just like thinking or something as he's still speaking. So that was kind of interesting to hear. And also, but they do such a good job and like with their spaces, we really couldn't get like any of the I don't know, the alpha we can sometimes sneak out of some
I tried
projects, not
sneaking
sneak
some.
out, but they like to share it. I think we kind of let people loosen up some and they, start having a good time and kind of share a little more than maybe they normally want to. But they shut us down. They were evolved for
They
sure.
did. I was trying to get more info as far as like the rooms and the staking goes, like how that's going to work and how do you get to nominate and choose people, all that stuff. I was trying to sneak some of that information. But no, it was great having them on. I definitely would like to have them come on afterwards. Their mint goes through. So to kind of hear where they're going next, honestly, I know I was trying to reach for the next mint when they haven't done the first mint, but definitely excited to talk to them again for sure. All right, I'm going to stop sharing.
I
All
was
right.
gonna say, seeing that website again though, like they Lev the dev, as they call Lev over there, they're kind of co-founder developer. It's not a problem when I think a project outsources or brings in other teams, or just people temporary to do some work like build a website. But and that's perfectly fine as far as like, hey, if that's not your strong suit or you don't have someone in your team, like definitely make sure you get that done correctly. So bring in someone who
Yeah.
knows what they're doing. But when you have that person on your team that's part of like the team, part of the co-founder, and is moving the project along and also that skilled, it just, I mean, you're that far ahead, I feel like, because the amount of stuff it allows him to do where he can kind of do those like, hey, if they have a fun little quick idea, he can start working on it or try and implement it, as opposed to like, that'd be a cool idea, but are we really going to hire someone and pay them that much extra to do it? Like he can even come up with his own stuff, take the initiative and be
Yeah.
like, guys, log on the website, check out what I just did. It's pretty sweet. And I just think that's such like a resource to have that. It was really cool, like getting to kind of learn more about the team and where they all fit in.
Absolutely. And I can't stress this enough. I've said this so many times, but I truly mean it. I'm just so glad that they really took their time on this project. They didn't want to mint it quickly. And I will say that I like that they listened to the community. They took over that took over, but they listened to them as far as the Discord when that community just came up with their own Discord, the underground. And then I just learned, I didn't realize that it must have not been paying attention or something, that the community came up with the game or whatever, the duck game that I have not checked out yet personally, but
Go
that's
duck
just them.
yourself or whatever. Go duck
Yeah,
yourself.
something like that. I don't
I think
remember
it's go duck
specifically,
yourself.
but I just think it's great that they really listen to their community. They take their ideas in and they just kind of work together, as a whole, not just being the project leaders or founders. They're really treating this as the community's project in a sense, and I really appreciate that aspect from them.
It's really interesting how their community came together to start a Discord. Tommy kind of touched on that in the live stream where he asked them, like, part of their success has been the fact that they do have a Discord. It's definitely something that's helped them along or may not have survived without it, but it's been ran and started by the community. And we have seen these other projects that did not do that. They were like, we're not going to have a Discord. We're not doing that normal route that you see projects. We're doing something different, or whatever the case was,
Yeah.
for the reasoning. And we didn't really see those communities though step up the same way, as this one. It just kind of, there's those projects that grab a hold of you, and this was definitely one that we even said multiple times. Like, just the first time I went to the website, the music, the atmosphere, the style,
The
the
art.
thought into the puzzles and things like that, the interaction and engagement, on that part, like yourself on your own, the exploration and discovery on the website, and then sharing that with like the members of the community. It's really got people kind of, it's got us excited at least too, but it's got people for sure captivated.
Not like that, the minting experience too. I was trying to get him to talk about
I want to know what
about
it's going to be. Yeah,
the
there's a
daily.
lot
So
about
if
that
I
now.
can
They
move
kind of,
on to the next day, like activities, if it's actually stopped, like, okay, you're finished this day's activity, you can't go on type of thing, or if I can just blow through everything. So I like that. It's going to be kind of probably stopped, I'm assuming, because they didn't really clarify too sure or want to share too much about it, which I understand.
that
But speak,
is something that sounds cool though, because they have it in their tweet, like as far as their announcement, where it's like a one of a kind mint experience, or mint day like no other. And that seems, like, oh, it's pretty, you got to say
it's
that.
different.
Well, you got to say that though. Any project could say that, like, oh, we're gonna have a one of a kind minting experience, but they may not be doing anything special. It could just be
Yeah,
something you say, like, it's just, why
it's
not?
just a new
Sure.
minting
Yeah,
provider.
exactly. Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Or this is like, of course it's one of a kind. All our NFTs are one of a kind. What do you mean? Like, these aren't copies. But they have like some, it's going to be a multi-day mint event with different like stories and lores for different people to engage in, like whether you're public, whether you're part of different parts of the whitelist, different tiers, prior holders, apartment holders. So it's going to be very interesting when that comes up, because it's something they've thought out and now have had this long to plan too, where they've definitely focused their time. I'm excited for that for sure.
Oh,
That might be
absolutely.
some, might have to take a look, maybe do some sort of like live part on that if
I
we
was
can.
just gonna say
Yeah, that'd be
Tommy should be
great.
back by then. We should maybe try to do a live event or something. That'd be a great idea.
That'd be
Tommy,
a good
let's
one.
if you're not half asleep on Saturday, we're gonna do that. So speaking of other mints, so the Goofy Gophers today just announced that they are today, Wednesday, that they are pushing their mint back until the 18th of March. I think it had a lot to do, or part of it had to do with their Discord getting hacked on Sunday, just took it over, but they resolved that quickly, by the way. And I think it's just given Flipper more time to kind of test things out. That's what they're talking about. So they did move it to the 18th. So everybody does now have until March 14th to get their wallets whitelisted and verified in the Discord. So if you have not done it yet, head to the Discord and verify your wallet to get whitelisted in there.
Definitely, as far as what we were both, all three planning on getting a mint. Does that mean Tommy will be back? He will be back by
He'll be
then.
back. He gets back the 17th. So
And so he
actually,
was
this
he
is
was
going
going
on
to
during
miss
the
this one
monsters
though.
too.
He was going to miss this one though, wasn't he? Or
I don't
have
think he
us
was
mint
gonna
for
mint
him?
it. He no, he brought his tablet for it.
Ah, that's what it was. Okay, but hey, now you won't have to do that. It's pretty
Yeah.
awesome. Oh,
So
that's
he's
smart though. I mean, especially just to make sure maybe we need to take an extra look here. See, I didn't see where the attack came from, how this one got hacked. I don't know if you got details on that. I know a lot of times it's usually like one of the higher up mods or something like that, clicking a link that maybe they weren't supposed to, but they've been given some extra permissions within the
yeah.
server. For all we know, though, someone that was, on the main team, I don't know in this case. I don't know if
So
they
I
showed
don't
that, but
I don't know specifically how it happened, but if memory serves me correctly, on Sunday, I think even it was actually Ryan's. Now I could be wrong. It was someone of the founders, Ryan's or the other person's. I can't remember their name. They posted a mint with an ETH link. So right there, red flag. If you ever see an ETH leak like in a Discord, do not click on that,
on
especially
the
if it's not.
Cardano side, especially,
Especially if it hasn't already been announced prior to that, like multiple days or whatever. It's just a random ETH link drop. Don't click on that. So that was kind of the first red flag. So that, and then when people were questioning it, this, that, and the other, they started kicking people out, shutting down channels, all that stuff. But it seemed to be resolved fairly quickly as
I
far
don't
as
even know
getting
how
their
to get back.
Discord
How
back.
do they get that back?
I don't know, because that kind of concerns like me for our Discord. I'm like, how do we
We got a
stop
couple
something ever
unofficial mods
happening?
running around over here. We just can't give them too much permission. You know what I mean? As long as
Yeah.
they don't have any control over actual channels and things like that, we'll be pretty straight. If they get hacked, we should be okay. But yeah, I mean, so you're telling me all those DMs I get that say space buds are now minting on Ethereum, I should be clicking those links? I mean, they always just seem like closed. I'm too slow. I can never get on those new space mints on Ethereum.
Unless they don't say free, don't click on them. If they say free,
Okay.
click on them
Oh,
all the
okay.
way. Free mint.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
saw one recently that says Clay Nation pitch mint. I was like, that is done a long time ago. All right.
It's like some of them you got to give them credit, and people fall for it. It sucks. It's unfortunate, but at least they like. You don't want to get scammed by a lazy scammer because then, I mean, you already feel it's got to feel a little dumb. I mean, you're
Put a
not
little
dumb.
effort
It's
in
easy to
it.
fall for, but you feel dumb. It's that feeling of like, I cannot believe I like. I've always been on the outside. I've always been like, oh, that sucks, but it would never happen to me. And then it does, and you're like, God, now I'm part of that group. But if
Yeah.
you get it for someone like that, where it's just like, yummy 10K release, okay, let me jump in on this.
Sweet.
Yeah.
The sad thing is,
It's like,
though,
wait, why did I
unfortunately,
fall for that?
yeah. Well, what it is, they probably try to catch the new people in this space that'll click on it. That's I think the big thing is. So any new people in the space that actually listen to this, do not click on any random links unless you verify it first. Always do your due diligence, not just with projects, but with random links that get sent to you. That is my PSA for the show today. Oh, another thing for the show, if you're liking this content, if you please give us a nice little thumbs up and a sub button, share this video out there, we would greatly appreciate it. Back
Yeah,
to the
we need those
podcast.
likes this week. We need, show
Mm,
Tommy.
show Tommy, yeah.
They're even better without him. um, no, who was it that I think it was Aeonium Sky when they had the link just dropped in their Discord?
Oh
When
my
Mfer was
gosh.
it his though
Yeah.
that his was reaction where it's just no.
No. It was Wraith.
It
Wraith wrote
was
that.
Wraith. Okay,
Wraith,
yeah.
he
I
wrote,
know they both had
no,
it happen, but
don't
Wraith
like,
just like
just wrote no.
he just shut down for like half a second. All he could say was just like no. No.
I
Yeah.
think our buddy did click on it. Didn't he click
Yeah,
on it?
no, I think we knew
Yeah.
two people that clicked on it actually, for sure. And I remember that happened to Aeonium Sky too. I think for that one, he blacked out all of the no, that was a different issue. They had a different issue with the minting process.
No,
That's what it
that was
was.
the bots got
Yeah,
to it
the
before
bots
the
got that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that was cool. I like that he voided it completely. He's like, nope,
Voided
these are
it, gave
you're
money
not getting
back.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really appreciated them doing that for sure.
I wonder if any of those have gone up. Like this is
The,
the voided
the
ones.
voided ones.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Definitely
have to
something
look
that could
into
happen.
that.
Stupid things happen like that sometimes in these spaces. It happens in all collector spaces where you have those
Yeah.
ones that, for whatever reason, are a little bit different or broken or messed up, especially in a specific way, and they kind of gain that value. That extra money,
Another
extra pesos.
extra. Oh, speaking of pesos, see, Tom, I like that little transition you did there. Let me get to the tweet here. So Dilly actually released another bill. It might be in the Discord too, but I saw it on his page today. So a little preview of the MX bills that are coming out. So this is pretty cool. It has a dead pixel face on it. I really enjoyed. I'm really enjoying seeing all these ones come out. I'm curious to know when exactly the mint date is. I don't think they've actually announced that yet, so I'm definitely pumped to actually be able to mint this. And I know we were talking about this on Monday a little bit.
The way that they're able to capture like the real look of currency,
Yes.
and how different it is from the old money, OG line, the two bills. Like this is just it really does, it's like the difference between
It's
if
the
you have a
details.
dollar or like, Mexican peso or whatever
Yep.
they end up doing next, euros, Deutschmarks. I don't know where they're gonna go with this. But yeah, exactly. Just like the little details, just their eye for that tricks in, and just even into like the fonts that he uses, the kind of colors and like
The
watermarks and things
security
like that.
bars.
All that, yeah, is thought of. Is amazing. Now, I will say personally, like it still fits very much in Trix's style, and it's kind of been more, I feel like, something that was in that music video we saw for the weekend. I forget
Yes.
the happening or which song that was.
Yeah, I think it was happening with the weekend. Yeah.
And especially like a lot of the new promo stuff and all of the tits. He's shown us a lot of tits lately. Trix has always shown us tits.
That's fun to say.
But this art style is like, it's he's used it, developed it a lot. I really connected with the kind of drawn in style of the original bills, where it was like
Yes.
someone doodled on it themselves.
On the bill.
That's
Yes.
really what got me involved. And I do say I prefer that, but I love that this one is different, that they didn't just continue that along. They've kind of, this is more almost like that. Looks like when you like clip out of like a magazine and like create like a person or something like that. It's that kind of like mix match hodgepodge kind of art style. I like it a lot.
Well, I will say we haven't seen all the bills yet, so hopefully maybe you will get to see some doodled on bills in their
It's
collection.
possible.
That'll be great because I do agree. I like those doodle ones too, especially with the laser eyes on them. Speaking of laser eyes, where'd that go? Right here, this one. Sorry. Okay. And laser eyes here. This is from the shout out to Mfer Chris. Dilly was posting about. He did this is his unique art piece he did or take on the bill, which is sick, by the way. The graphics on this thing is absolutely amazing. From the crinkles to the lasers through the bill, looks really, really
The
good.
burn too, like the other, like the underlying
Yes.
bill where you can see it did. It's not like on fire. It's not like it just like dragged in fire PNG or something. Like it has that like paper burn look to it, like the way paper, like a tissue burns away, like where it
Yep.
creeps on it. It's amazing. Oh, it's on. I can't see. My camera's blocked. It's on the left side too, the top bill there. But yeah, for sure. I actually didn't see this until you sent this.
No, this I
So
didn't
this is
either. It's
awesome.
sick.
Yeah, this is really cool.
I was
For
just
sure.
checking this out tonight. I'm very curious because Dilly said getting everyone familiar with his work. So I don't know if that means
This one
maybe
dropped.
project or what
Mm.
coming out. But either way, they did a really good job of, adapting or adopting the bill and make it even that much, realistic looking in a picture there. So it looks really
This one
good.
goes a little bit harder, like than like the kind of goofy spirit to me of like the old money. Like I know old money does have like New York and everything. But this one, I don't know, kind of get like the purge or something like that.
Yes, it does look the first style right there. It is. It's true. Well, the face in general, I recognize this face because I always think of Beetlejuice when they open up I
Oh,
forget
the
her
mouth.
name.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
mouth.
yeah,
Yeah,
for
that's the
sure. And the
face.
other
So
one makes
that
like his into a big beak or something like that.
yes. So I
Yeah.
always think of
Hmm.
Beetlejuice when I see that face. All right. Yeah, those bills were really sick looking. I'm really enjoying the MX bills and shout out to MF for Chris for that adaptation of the 02.2 bills there. So that looked really good. Another mint coming up that's actually going to be had already happened yesterday or Thursday for us, which is tomorrow for us, but Thursday for you guys, which is yesterday. I know it gets confusing. Is the Astro Mint. I just was looking at this tonight. I know Resin in the Discord was talking about it. I myself have not had a chance to take a peek at it with everything going on this past weekend. Somebody you guys know got married and just busy with work, honestly. But essentially, what this project is they're an NFT project, obviously, but they're also like a lending pool, and you use they unlock the ADA of your Cardano NFTs and use them as collateral. So just in this video alone, I know for the audio listeners out there, you can't see this. So what you do is when you want to borrow anything from their pool there, you click on it and then you can set your NFTs as collateral. And then if you have any of their Astros in your wallet, you get a discount depending on how many you have in there. So one says 5%, two's 10, five's 25%, and 10 NFTs are 50%. So once you set that collateral, there's a repayment amount and there's a percentage that you have to repay as well. So
Interest
obviously
rate. There's
interest
interest
rate,
rates
yeah.
on it. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. So this looks really, really cool. And I think this will do honestly really well as far as because people are going to want more for that discount. So this is an interesting way to do the lending pool. I just like that they call it unlocking your ADA and your CNFTs. I think that is a really cool draw for people right there. It's going to change the game, I think, a
It
little
almost
bit.
sounds like, I mean, in a way, like refinancing your house or something, like kind of like dipping into
Yes.
value that you've accrued from like your house, or paying it off to where like you have these NFTs sitting and you're not really doing anything with them as they continue to develop, and you can kind of use their value as leverage to get more ADA and do some trades with
Yes.
that other ADA for some quick flips, without maybe spending or some cash to get ADA right now. It'll be interesting. What I'm waiting for is some of these to really start getting more popular, to where we see that like more activity transactions, and there's going to be problems with the valuations at times. And I'm just curious to see where that gets to. Where like people say they want a certain money, and they're like, look at this, they're trying to only give me like 200 ADA for my clay or something like that. Like, what, you're
Yeah.
fucking crazy. Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious, and that's kind of, they're going to have some issues, not them specifically. I just mean as these start really rolling out, becoming more popular. But I'm ready to hear some success stories too. I'm hoping these, the people that do utilize this, it goes really well for them. They're able to do the flip. They're able to get their NFT back, with their profits and pay
Right.
off that little bit of interest, and it works out well for everyone. But it'll be cool to hear that story if that happens,
Oh, I
especially like in the
agree.
Discord or something. Like, hey, I didn't want to, I didn't have the ADA for this mint, so I just pawned something off essentially,
Yeah.
and got some quick money, did the flip, bought back my NFT, paid for it off, paid the interest, and ended up with like 158 of profit or something for doing for free.
That that is a really cool story and idea because I think people are going to utilize that a lot more closer to other things minting just so they can get that the flip and the big gains back so they can, maximize their return by having a ton of liquidity because they have this specific NFT without actually selling it. You just set it up as collateral and then you get an X amount of ADA and you can just use it on the mint and just mint as much as you can and then flip it. Because I know that's like a flipper's paradise right there to do that stuff.
What I'm
Um,
curious is, obviously most of these have some sort of like limitations on which NFTs will accept as collaterals, not
right.
stuck, like, so I don't go and be like, hey, I don't care if the floor is 5. I'll put up 30 of my dogs on the chain or something like that. Give me 30 times 5 for all these, and I'm never going to pay you back because I couldn't sell them if I wanted to, and you're not going to be able to sell them. They're not worth anything. I'm kind of curious where that goes as well.
I guarantee
Um,
you there's some stipulation because I know Malidor
yeah,
does that
the
where there's
same kind
only
of thing.
certain NFTs that they are
Mhm.
going to accept as collateral. Because other than that, like you
Same
said,
on the
people,
high end. They can't take those ones that are worth like 80,000 ADA or whatever because they just
yeah,
don't have that kind of pool to pay out
there's
of
no
quite yet.
buyer,
Yeah,
right? So God
exactly.
forbid you
Yeah.
can't pay back. There's no buyer for that specific NFT. They need a somewhat popular NFT that has a decent floor that they're going to be willing to accept as collateral. That's really, I'm sure, that's
Do
the
they
only way
have
it would
some
work
more of
though.
the as far as the art goes?
I think there's different races I've seen. I didn't let me see the art here. And I did see the partner with Big, which that is big. Let's see if I can get some art images on here. I didn't actually see it too much. This looks really
I was
cool
gonna
though.
say, yeah, no, I saw this one as well.
I know it's just an announcement, but
That's
it's
the
sick.
yeah. Because they have a pass also. They have the flux, I think is what it's called.
I believe so.
A
Yes.
flux capacitor.
Yes. I'm looking for it now. Yes.
Capacitor
These are
flux.
really cool though. These are sick. I like
All
these a
right.
lot, honestly.
I really like the galaxy built into like his, I don't know if that's, it's
His
not armor,
skin.
it's like his skin is peeling.
Yeah.
And that
Galaxy
one that
skin.
was pretty crazy. I think the other one's a little more subtle, where skin's almost peeled away and you can just kind of see that dark purple and stars. But
No,
all
that's
right,
really
all
good.
right.
So I'm definitely I'm
Hmm.
looking forward to that. I don't know if I'll get to Mint. I don't know if it's whitelist only. To be fair, sorry, Astro, I don't know too much about the project other than I just really was digging into it today. So I don't know if it's a whitelist only or if it is going to be released for
What was the
publics
date
too.
on it though? Minting March 9th?
Ninth.
Yeah, you said
So
yesterday, tomorrow.
tomorrow,
So
Thursday.
yesterday, if you're listening to the podcast on Friday.
Yes.
Got it.
So I don't know, but it looks really cool. I'll have to do a little bit more of a deeper dive into it. But shout out to you guys, Astro.
I was reading that Astro races, like, oh, they're gonna be like, it's gonna be like a racing game. You can race
Yeah.
these. Tell Altano, like, get on board. This is pretty awesome. But no, they mean like they're alien races. There's
Yeah.
six different alien races. But I was like, all right, cool, not bad.
Not bad. There you go. All right, before we officially wrap it up on the back end, like Tommy likes to say, I did want to bring up Dead Rabbit Society. Actually, Tom, you brought it up actually earlier as a topic to talk about because I know we all appreciate and always have liked the artwork and like that they've been building in the space. I know Tommy actually had some rabbits. I myself haven't. I don't have any yet, but I do appreciate that they've been building. They have some news coming out or that came out on March 7th that they have their Dead Store active. They got their weapons mint coming out in March, their NFT battle class, and Mole Mint and Battle app. So I'm very excited to hear they're still building and still grinding in the space because I've always appreciated their artwork. Honestly, I have always liked it.
It's something that like we got a lot of similar. It's hard for me to find the right words because I don't mean that they were both kind of doing something similar to each other or copying or anything along those lines. It was just there were traits about Mallet that we really liked that we also liked about Dead Rabbit Society. They were doing
Right.
some similar things as far as the way they were approaching their marketing and their release and just the care they were putting into their project and lore.
Absolutely.
But it was different than Mallard. It wasn't copying, or it was the base was the same, but they were doing it in their own way, in their
Yeah.
like rabbit, their rabbit way. And yeah, it was one that Tommy got had some time there that he actually kind of got real into, and was able to take a deeper dive on, because it was before Mallard.
It was,
Um,
yeah. I think a few months before Mallard, yeah.
yeah, and I remember he really started getting in on the lore. They had a lot of the community kind of following along those puzzles. The big one I know was, for a while, it was like the rabbits that had the ear tags, and I'm
That's
sure there's
right.
been more since then, that we just have not been able to follow up on. So it's one that I kind of want to take a look at, because it's something we always
Yeah,
just like, the vibes, really. I mean, I don't really like saying that, but that's pretty much what it was. I just kind of enjoyed their style, and the art
absolutely.
style even, but just also the community and the team. And then seeing, yeah, I saw these weapons where they're really kind of getting into these battles that they're going to start doing the war.
Well,
And
these
it's what's
I would
up?
say these weapons remind me of what's that game that you and Tommy used to play on Xbox?
Hmm.
There's different. There's three games, kind of them. They're like the kind of the cartoony, like destroying
Borderlands. Oh yeah,
Borderlands. Yeah.
Borderlands.
So
Oh
these
yeah, for
weapons kind of
sure. Yeah, they have
remind
that
me of
cell
like,
shaded art style. Yeah, for sure. Like the hard lines. They actually do it
yeah,
quite a bit. I like, and that may be why I'm so drawn to them right away, because I fucking love Borderlands.
that's
I
instantly what
still
I
play
thought of when I
those.
saw it.
But for sure, yeah, and those games are still great. But I could see that somewhat, for sure. But it matches their rabbits well,
Yeah.
and I guess there's gonna be a mint. What I like is, if you have those cards back open, TJ, they actually show like their stats on them. You know, the attribute focus strength, strength, two minus, wits. So like, they're gonna have these RPG elements as
Yeah.
far as to built into the rarity. I'm assuming the colors will mean some sort of rarity too, like as they, orange, purple, epic, rare, that kind of thing, common, whites and greens. So I'm kind of curious to see how far it kind of gets into that, and then how it starts to connect. I want to look a little bit even more into this, because I know part of that is a moment, which
Yeah.
is partially what that's where like some of the war comes from, some of the rabbits and the moles. But it is cool that they are still continuing on their development, and the
I
team and the
agree.
project community still stays strong. I know their community is strong. You can see the tweet there. You're showing their Twitter right now for audio listeners at home, the 15 of you each week.
Shout out to you guys.
Yeah, for sure. But they still do like games they play games every day in their Discord still. And I'm sure, Sundays are a lot more popular than others, depending on what they're doing, depending on what they're giving away too, because they do giveaways built into the community there. But it is cool that they're still continuing to push that along. I know we know how hard that is to keep schedule. I mean, our
Absolutely.
game night's been going great, right? Um,
We had a half a game night and then we didn't even schedule the next one.
Last week, the last one, we were just like, damn, we totally forgot about that. We could do it
Yeah.
now, but we've come too far.
We've gone
Just,
too
yeah,
far. Yeah. It
it's-
would just been
take
half-assing
a
it if we tried
Thursday
to do
off.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It would have been like last time, or, which I
Yep.
enjoyed that when we were playing with um,
We play Rez
Resin.
and
Rez was
yeah,
in there.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And but so who else joined with us? So because
I think
Rez
it was
played with me and
Mike.
Tommy.
Mike's from Mutants.
That's what it was, yeah. And someone else from another project too, if I remember correctly. But yeah, it was because Rez was playing with me. He was my healing partner there. We were heal slutting
Yeah.
all over Tommy, and some Overwatch too.
He's-
But otherwise, yeah, it was just we didn't get enough people like kind
yeah.
of ready for it, didn't give enough heads up there.
Sure.
I know the time zones also don't make it easy. We expect everyone to be like, oh, it's 8:30, that's perfect time for everyone. And it's like, yeah, maybe if you live in Florida, but I don't. I
Yeah.
live in Turkey. It's middle of the night for me. It's not going to work.
Not
So
happening.
yeah, I'm in Australia. But it just seeing some of these that are getting into some more games that from what I'm seeing as far as the NFT part of it goes, I just like seeing the ones that aren't overly ambitious, which I guess is weird to
Yeah.
say. You'd like to see a project go as far as possible, but it's what makes me a little nervous. Like when I see cornucopias, and I know they got some real money behind them, at least you'd think, from the amount they've made on these mints, secondary, but just the project they're building, and to make that actually fully fleshed out and, working, and a good experience beyond just looking pretty with the engine they're on, takes a lot of work and a lot of
It
team
does.
and a lot of time. Where something like that we're seeing from Wolves of Rome, where they're keeping like it more within their bounds of their abilities to make it, and focusing on the fun aspect. It's not
Yeah.
enough to just make
Well,
it
game
work
first
too.
too.
Yeah, but
I
it's not
mean,
enough to just make it work.
yeah.
It's one thing to just be like, hey, it works, and it's like, yeah, but it's no fun to play. So that's
Right.
well done. You missed the main part of it. It's not just the working; it's keeping it so it's fun. And watching like Wolves Rome play, or even a little bit we've seen from Goombles so far. there's like real potential for them to actually be able to develop and build that, which, obviously is their plan.
But I
And
think you bring up an interesting topic too. We talked about this a little bit before we recorded. I think going on the gaming part of NFTs, I think once any project goes mobile first, like making that the main priority, that is going to go a long way in this space. I think you and I you can agree on, we were talking about saying, if I'm going to come to my computer and sit down to play a game, no offense to any project out there, but I'm not going to probably play the NFT game first because I already have limited time. But if I can get access to these games on my phone first, like make mobile the priority, I'll definitely be more inclined to play when I'm trying to get my son down to sleep, or if I'm just chilling in bed or whatever the case may be, chilling on the couch. I'll be definitely more inclined to hop on and play those games rather than coming to my computer and sitting down. Because like I said, I'm probably not going to play that game first. I'll
and
play
not
it,
even
but
at
not
that home
first.
aspect, but there's so much more potential than like at work, sitting on the
Yeah,
toilet,
100%.
in
Exactly.
the break room, killing time at the train station, at the airport, wherever
Yep.
it may be, at bank in the line or whatever. You can click it open, make two moves, pause it if, unless it's
Yeah.
on the multiplayer side. I was even thinking about that some. We've played quite a bit of Cardopoly now a few times. We played it live on stream, which is really cool. And it is functions well, and they've continued to develop too and really learn because they've had those full games played through. So they know what they need to do to balance it better. And we've even seen that from like the last time we played a live stream compared to the very first time when it opened up. Just some of the balance is much better now. The amount of money, how you make money, how
Yeah.
long the properties last. But it's also, and as cool as it is seeing like the full game board and kind of seeing all the pieces on there moving around and seeing how well that is actually working, even though there's still some bugs because it is early. That's just, that's what they're working
Of
out.
course.
It's not perfect, but it is
It
fun.
works. It's
Yeah, it
playable. Yeah.
works in a fun way. It's not, it
Yep.
doesn't distract or anything. It doesn't ruin the game experience. It's usually just like, oh, I need to relog or something. It could still work, I think, in my eyes, on like a mobile platform because you don't need to see that full game board. I don't need to
Agree.
see what's going on at the go corner of the board on Cardopoly when I'm down
Right.
by the opposite corner. I can just see maybe like my 10 squares. I can actually maybe see some of the detailed information. You know what I mean? That's something we've talked about where it's like, oh man, I wish I could see the actual blocks in front of me. There's so much
Yes.
information on that board. So on a phone, if you only saw like the next, you're only rolling two dice, so the next 12 spots or so, like that's all I'm going to get. That would be perfectly fine to continue to kind of play along from your phone and roll. And like you said, that would probably get me at least, just because I either forget or get busy, and it's like I don't have, I'm not gonna like maybe sit down and sit here and play through the whole time until I get that dedicated time. So, but if I was on the phone doing it kind of on the go, that'd be super easy.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something interesting. I agree. Like those mobile side of things is extremely important, and it's something that's also made me just not concerned, but just, I think it's hard. Like I realize it's hard to tackle for a project.
Right.
When we ask, they're always like, yeah, it's in the plans, but it doesn't always seem like they're like, we are planning on it or we'd like to, but we have no idea fucking how to do it. Like
It's
that's
not
a
the
totally
fifth or
different set of
sixth step.
programming.
It's like number
Yeah.
10.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's not like we're not developing this game for phone.
Yeah.
We're trying to get the game out first. We're trying to get the NFT out first,
Right.
then the game. And then, when that's working in 2 years from now, hopefully it'll be on phone. Whereas I kind of agree though, like if some of the game that comes out, it's like, oh no, this is mobile first or
Mobile
mobile
first. Yep.
simultaneous same time, like both are dropping, they can interact with each other, you can play on
Right.
both. I think that'll go a long way. I mean, we're even still talking about that as far as like what's the wallet to use when it comes to
Yeah.
this mobile side of things. So it's got to be the very difficult thing. And I know it's not
With,
always on Cardano. Some of it's the app stores and working within those
right.
boundaries. So
That's true. I didn't even think about that because I think even I don't remember who it was, but they did say it has something to do because Apple gives a big issue for NFTs or crypto in general as far as they want their cut as far as how you operate with them. So
yep.
I going back to the wallets, I think Flint Wallet does a pretty good job as far as being able to buy and sell on JPG. So if some of these companies or gaming developers or gaming NFT projects can kind of maybe work with a wallet like Flint or another wallet that does that I'm
They'll
not
let
too
you link,
familiar with,
yeah, and
that let
connect.
you link and connect. I mean, that I think if someone does mobile first as their main priority, that I think is gonna exceed all expectations. And for me personally, I'm gonna play it more often than I'm gonna play the game sitting on my desktop. Now I'm gonna play these games that are coming out. I'm not gonna play them. We've talked about plenty of games that that are coming out that I will play and try. But once the mobile one comes, I'll play that one the most. Because for me, the two mobile games that I can remember that I played the most or put actually time in was Angry Birds and Clash of Clans. I played the shit out of both those games because they were simple and fun. Nothing too crazy about them, but they were just enjoyable
You
to
could
play,
do them. You
honestly.
can pick them up anywhere. You can
Yeah.
stop at any time. Like there's the reason why those games are so popular. It also goes as far as even like when you start getting down to the marketing and seeing it on Twitter, where it's like,
Yep.
hey, these people are playing this game, they're retweeting it. Maybe they have some sort of automatic tweets built within the game, or when you do certain things, you can like automatically have that tweet for you too. You see that a lot, which gets annoying for some games. But I mean, there's some ways it works where people are seeing it a lot. They click on it and they're able to just go and download the app on their phone,
Yep.
start playing right then, as opposed to like click on it and it's like, oh, okay, I'll do this when I get home. Then you have to sit down. I got to log in. I have to like create this wallet on this side. I have to connect it to this site. I
Yeah.
have to do this part. Where if you could have an app where all that was kind of facilitated within the app and you were just on one screen doing it, and it's like that was great. I had to wait at the doctor's office today for 45 minutes. I just like got lost doing this and killing playing this game. It
Yep.
was fantastic. I think
You
that would
just
go a long way if we see that.
you just gave me an idea too, because obviously mobile like is gonna be the biggest factor in mass adoption as far as Web3 gaming goes, because everybody mostly across the world has a phone. But the other aspect of that is if the application itself is able to, what do I want to say here? So the NFT game, I lost my thought. It's gone. Just lost it.
Just like that.
Just
Doesn't
just
have it.
gone. He doesn't have it. No, but damn it, what? That's gonna piss me off. I had something to say about that too, about the mass adoption of Web3 and stuff like that. Because I don't know.
About
Anyways,
international phones being able to connect and get involved, I guess. I definitely understand where you're coming
oh
from, though.
no, I got it. Came back. So what I was saying is, any project coming out really should kind of do a Wolves of Rome in a sense. When I say do Wolves of Rome, come out with the mobile game first, right? So, and you could treat your NFT on your phone as like the battle pass. So if you want to get the extra skins or the extra this, the extra that, then you have to go and be able to purchase NFT. But some games even have like the tutorial, like, oh, how to get a Cardano NFT, how to set up a wallet. They could have that within their game as a clickable option. So you make it as easy as possible to bridge these Web 2 to Web 3 people into that. So if any project does that, they're going to go a long way.
And that's where we said, too, as far as the competition goes, when it comes down to bringing in these markets where we've talked to a few projects now where they want to bring in non-NFT community members into their community by playing their games. By the
Yep.
game itself is fun. They don't even realize it. The big one we hear is they don't even know that there's NFTs involved. They're just having fun playing the game. And I just see that as like more of a viable option on like the mobile gaming side. Where yeah, there's some really big mobile games now. You can obviously play like PUBG and Fortnite and all that
Yep.
kind of stuff on your phone. But there are still plenty of smaller indie games that become very popular if they're fun, if they're challenging, and they like especially challenging if they take a little bit of thinking, a little bit of challenge, a little bit of retry and learning, and that's what really keeps you engaged or coming back. Whereas opposed to if you get on the PC and then you're now competing with all these games now that release for free because they have this free to play model where you then have to purchase other parts, whether
Right.
it's again Fortnite, Overwatch, Genshin Impact, whatever it is. There's so many of these games that people put thousands of hours in for free,
Yeah.
and then they do spend money sometimes if they like a skin or want that
Exactly.
extra bit of different look because they want to stand out or flex or whatever the case may be, or they get the free rolls and get them. But they have to compete with all that when you're on PC, where it's still a large market on the phone, but it's a little bit different. They have a little bit more of a chance to kind of break through if their game is truly fun and engaging. It's just a little harder to kind of get, I think, the noise to get outside community members in that aren't
Right.
into NFTs on a PC.
Yeah. So if they market as just a game first, and then the NFT is kind of like the sneaky battle pass or whatever, I think that will bring more people into the space in general and just more Web 2, Web 3. Well, that goes for gaming. I think it's wrapping it up on the back end. Tommy, you're fired forever. No, I'm kidding. We miss you. Hope you're having fun.
I'm sure
This
I
was
mean,
good.
it's only like 6 o'clock there. So we'll probably sit down for like some beautiful dinner on the beach or something like
Probably.
that.
Yeah.
I'm about to go pass out. I'm
Sipping Mai
exhausted. So
Tais. What is
yeah,
it?
exactly. I'm
What
sure
are they
they're having
getting?
a great time.
What are those necklaces called? Like getting laid?
Yeah, Lays, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Lays, yeah. All right.
For
Well, this
sure.
has been a great show. Actually, I enjoyed it. It was a good time chatting with you, Tom.
Good
Just you and
one,
I.
for sure.
Good
Yeah,
one.
nice change of pace.
Change of pace. All right. Well, we will catch you guys on the next one.